Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is your host, Travis Semulin Sowers. We are jumping into a best of one Strixhaven Draft on MTG Arena. I'm a little under the weather today, but still kicking. I don't know how good Witherbloom Command is, but I imagine it's pretty good. Like, this is basically kill a small thing after combat. Drain your opponent. I mean, it seems okay. Oh, I do have Stream Raiders up. Fair enough. Like I said, I'm not feeling 100% great. I feel like Emergent Sequence is pretty good. Rise of Exodus is actually better than I thought it was, and certainly first pickable. Environmental Sciences is good. I could play a Shock. I don't feel like I have to take this. Inkcaster could be good in the right shell. It could be. This just is like kill something that doesn't matter. I'm honestly not sure what to take here. Yeah, I don't think I really like it either. I think I'm going to go with the Emergent Sequence, as it would open up a splash if we're in green, but dismiss it pretty quickly if we see something better. Here I'm at odds with Hunt for Specimens and Thunderous Orator, and to an extent Expel. I also quite like Academic Dispute when I thought that I wouldn't. Hunt for Specimens has the option that we could play it in green, which would allow us to play our sequence, but I don't have to play the sequence. I think I'm going to take the Orator and see where this goes. All of the Oracles. I mean, I've heard people say this is quite good too. I suppose it is more open. A Corridor? That's pretty good. Sure, let's try out the halls, because we don't know what we're doing yet. Basic Conjuration seems like a pretty good lesson to have. I've really liked these Bayou Groffs, specifically in green-black. I've also really liked Infused with Vitality. How's the Wrangler been for me? I've never played it. I didn't think it was going to be very good. I could sort of see it lining up to something. Like, this could be the time to try it. It feels like these two cards would be interested in being friends, eh? You know what? What the heck? Let's try the Wrangler. This still technically leaves me open to this, basically. So I think we have to decide now. And again, we can get off of all of this if we need to. But do we want to go in for the Mage Hunter's Onslaught or in for the Wormhole Serpent? The Wormhole Serpent is significantly better than the Frost Trickster by, like, several orders of magnitude. So I think that's something I'd be interested in. Let's give it a go. It's also splashable, potentially. All right, so we've got Fractal Summoning, Eureka Moment. There is an Explosive Welcoming, which is interesting. I feel like if I'm playing green, I would be happy with the Fractal Summoning. Generally speaking, this deck would be quite happy with the Eureka Moment as well. Ironically, the core Wrangler is going to look kind of bad in what we're building right now, but it could get better. I'm just not sure which of these two to value. I think it should be the first Fractal Summoning over the first Eureka Moment, because, like, how many Eureka Moments do I want? Probably 2? I've been quite happy with this in white-based decks. But I feel like now that we've got the Fractal Summoning, I can take the Pop Quiz, and we've kind of built our own combo. I'm also sort of interested in this in case we want to splash a black card. It's worth noting that there's still a heated debate here, which I think is a pretty good card. I have zero interest in the Pledge Mage currently. I've already got one, basically. If it wheels, we'd probably play it. Aether Helix I like quite a bit. This was very good in our last deck. This bounces fractals and gets us back crap. So I think, okay, I am now ready to be Quandrix. I don't have to have any of these cards. Solve the Equation could be potentially good depending on what we find with it. But I feel like this is a fine spot to pick up a campus and work on that splash base. I don't know why I put the pop quiz over there. Like I said, I'm tired. Biomathematician is something that I always think I could play, but I never end up playing. I don't see any harm in taking it here. It's fine. I think I would like to have an environmental sciences in the size board, but I also think I'll probably find one. Well, it's a 3-mana 3/3, right? It's mostly curve filler. We had a deck with like 5 of them and it wasn't good, which is an indication to me that it probably won't be. I'm curious now if we're just letting a good Prismari deck slip through our hands. If I've got 3 mana, I probably don't want to turn 4, 5/4 and sack a Fractal, although I've done it before. I mean, we take the Introduction to Prophecy. Okay. I have played Cram Session before if you get enough good things, but Burying Books is, I think, our jam. Is teach by example. I'm never playing a card that does that. I'm never going to play a 2-mana card that copies an instant or sorcery. So it's entirely possible that it does, but I'm just never going to put that card in a deck. I could see some scenarios where it would be good, but I can also see scenarios where Fog would be good. And those copy another spells always seem like Fog to me. Like best case scenario, yada, yada, yada. Worst case scenario, I die with that in my hand and don't understand what happened. I've seen this be at least okay at getting through some damage. And like, I think I'd play another campus, but let's make sure we hit playables. This doesn't look too bad so far. Archivist at the top end would be fine too. Like, I think generally speaking, what I want in Quandrix at the top end is just the Leyline Serpent dude. I also feel like Prismari is open adjacent. Sure, it can be better than Fog and still not be something I'm interested in. So this has got a Leonin Light Scribe, which is incredibly powerful, but not for us. Like, I kind of just want this Leyline Invocation, gobble up a couple field trips, and we're doing the thing. I do feel like I'm kind of building around commons rather than uncommons, and that makes me a little sad. We've got a couple here, but I sort of need it to be open this direction. We can also be on the lookout for things to splash. But this is the top end this deck wants. Hey, what's up, Hoyled?
Hello, Sam. How's Hogwarts treating you?
We're having a good time so far. I'm going to want a Mage Duel. That's fine. We can pick that up here. Might wheel some of these Biomathematicians. That would be fine too. We could, in theory, splash a Heated Debate, but I don't think I'd take it off of as opposed to an on-color removal spell. I think Rutha is a better than average card. Yeah, we'll probably wheel some of those if we want them. Again, this card has not terribly impressed me. Y'all spam some cats for Hoyled. Thank you for the resub, my friend. I'll help you get started. Access Tunnel I'm pretty happy to have. I do need a few 2-drops and we don't have any, and Campus Guide would certainly fit here. But I've been pretty happy with this. It's going to put 2 colorless lands in the deck, which is awkward. But if we're not splashing, Emergent Sequence and the Duel will help me make up for that. But this will finish a game. I suppose you just can't play this in best of 1. I didn't think I was just going to settle in and draft Quandrix, but here we are. I'm still cautiously optimistic about this dude. So what do? Magecraft. Choose target creature you control. Okay. That's a lot of words that add up to mostly a hard to cast 4-mana 4/4 for me. So here's our option to like go out on a limb, consider Teamer Shenanigan or Sultai Shenanigans, but I'm not quite convinced I can do that. The Golem could be interesting with Mage Duel, and I could also just take the Amplimancer. But I feel like our power level is relatively low, and this concerns me. I'm going to go out on a limb here and see if this is so incredibly open that we just need to change it up. Because it could be. I don't think I'm going to miss the 2-drop, but I might regret that. Eureka Moment seems fine. It's ramp adjacent. Dina has incredibly impressed me. I've won a lot of games with Dina. I think we could now start thinking about a Pledge Mage because we're pretty spell heavy, but I also feel like my 2s and 3s are really going to need to block currently. So I think we take the moment and maybe will this Karok and are pretty happy about it. Yeah, it can go in both decks, but right now we're looking at a fat deck, and a fat deck needs blockers. I would never have thought I would take a Soothsayer Adept over a Professor of Zoomancy, but I may just do that. Because I got to have something to play on too. I'm still not quite there. We could take environmental sciences, but I'm concerned at the moment. I've already got 2 of these to get and really no lessons to get with them. Now this pack has everything I want and some indication of what school is open. Oh, I'm sorry, Hoyled. This pack is an indication that we have selected the right school, and that's good news. It might very well mean that I'm wheeling all of those biomathematicians, which would also be pretty cool. This is the strongest card in the pack and better than I thought it would be. And I thought it would at least be okay, but maybe if we want to splash a black card, we can. We splashed a Doomblade the last time we did this. So, yeah, I think we can stack on these. That's fine. We got another Soothsayer Adept, which is good. I need one of those. I do want to have access to some 2s. We spun the Barium books, but I think the first intro in the sideboard is better than the second Barry in the main. Because now we've got some real options about what we find, and I'm still interested in a field trip, so we've got 3 lessons now. I don't actually like any of these cards. Well, Pigment Storm's fine, but I don't think we're realistically going to play any of this. I suppose I could play a Curate if I had to. I don't like Regrowth as a card in Limited, generally speaking. I think I'm going to get more Biomathematicians, and I won't need this, but that's fine. Did you just pass on a Biomathematician for a Soothsayer Adept? I did. Our deck at the time has 0 2-drops. Quandrix decks from earlier was a 7 wins. And now our deck's basically done, and we've still got another pack, which seems great. So I think I would have been pretty happy with the Arch in the last one. I don't know that I can get Serpentine Curve big enough with this deck. Yeah, I had a deck with 5 of the Bio Dudes, and they were not great. This is not a great card. It's a filler card. And it's a fine filler card. I'm happy to play it. But if the deck was all of them, I still think it would be okay. I think it is, but we need a way to get a big thing. I think we can probably play the Arch, but I'm not excited about it. I'm now looking for, frankly, just the biggest creatures I can find. And this is not one of them. But it's going to have to do. You are wrong. Well, I think you are wrong. An 11-10 that requires me to sacrifice my board is not going to work here. I'm looking for an expensive spell. I have played 5 of the biomathematicians, and they were not good. I don't know. If you need more than 5 for them to be good, like, they were fine. They were just not great. If I had more learn cards, I could be quite interested in elemental summoning. But I think Field Trip is probably the pick for us. That means I can at least get the introduction to the Annihilation and the Fractal Summoning. And it is kind of doing what we want to do. So let's just grab it while we can. Hey, a second Fractal Summoning seems like a nice thing to have access to. Yoinks. Leyline Summoning would play. Sold. Or Leyline Invocation, whatever it is. I mean, the thing about the Biomathematician is it's a 3-mana 3/3 that blocks a little better and attacks a little worse. When you get more of them, they do get better, but you have to draw them and play them and not have traded off the pieces. And your reward is you kind of get an extra 2/2. I wish we could tell that this deck was open, but I guess we'll just take this. You think Teachings is bad? Which card is Teachings? I don't know the cards by name just yet. Tests of Talents we could play, but I think I might rather just have the other land. Oh, yeah, it's fine to have. I don't think we want a Pledge Mage. I've already got one. I'm already looking to play kind of 2 colorless lands. I think if I'm doing that, the extra dual comes in really handy. Ironically, it'll mess with this a little bit, but I think that's worth speculating on. Somebody asked a question I was going to answer, and then I forgot what it was. Would we ever want to pest summonings? I've got 3 learn cards, right? I suppose there's a scenario where we might. I feel like I'm always going to want the Quandrix Campus. So I'm going to take that. All right, do we now have room for this? What would we play it over? I don't know what I'd play it over. Maybe a Soothsayer Adept. I can respect that. I don't know where my Soothsayer Adepts went, but that's fine. I'm yoinking that. Okay. Sure, maybe we want that out of the sideboard. I don't think I need Archway Commons, but sure. Hey, what's up, Scotty? Okay, Infinite Quandrix Campuses. I may only play 3 of them. You only know how to draft Silverquill? Do you really like playing aggro? This deck needs one more cut. What should it be? I mean, I kind of just want to cut the Quandrix Pledge Mage and go along with my life, so I'm going to do that. That would probably explain it. Yeah, this mana base is 10-10 with decent stuff here. I've already got 2 Pledge Mages in this deck with the Wrangler and the Hall of Oracles. When you can have Pledge Mage on a bagel, you can have Pledge Mage anytime. Feel bad if you don't drop a creature on turn 1. You don't play a whole lot of... Are you relatively new to Limited? Because I kind of feel the other way. I feel pretty bad if I do play a creature on turn 1. But I think that's because I've played Limited for literal years. Like, most of the 1-drops and sets we get these days aren't actually that good. Yeah, try drafting a deck where you don't draft any 1-drops and you first pick a 6-drop. Just try it. It's a good way to get out of your comfort zone. Because, like, this deck doesn't want any 1-drops. Yeah, and if that's your jam, you can certainly draft it. That sounds pretty good, Scotty. You might be an aggro player. You can even draft aggressive versions of decks that aren't typically aggressive. I think there's aggressive Lorehold builds, for example. I don't think they're really maximizing the card synergy, but that doesn't mean you can't pick a double striker and guiding voice it 5 times and then just kill somebody out of nowhere. Yes, I do believe that the dragons in this set are all pretty good. When's the last time we had a bad dragon? Because generally speaking, you just take the dragons. All right, emergent sequence. We got ramp, we got things to do. Let's do it. Oh yeah, that one was kind of bad. I think the best deck is the one that is open. I also think rating the best deck or best college less than a week into a format is kind of weird. This is not how a Travis do. I'm enjoying all of them, frankly. I mean, Lorehold is my spirit animal. That's why I have a relevant elephant. I'm trying to decide if I just want to block this or not. If they don't have a life gain play in hand, well, I'm going to have to sit here. Yeah, I'm supposed to just trade these. It sucks. I don't want to trade them, but here we are. Yes, that is usually how that works, a night gamer. Okay. Well, that's less exciting. I wanted to keep that one. We could do this, but not much afterwards. I think I like just getting the 6/6 down, and then we'll recover from there. What do I want here? A 4/4 that's easier to cast, or a 4/4 that's not as easy to cast? I mean, this one could get better. So sure, let's go with that. Yeah, if you enjoy drafting the same thing over and over, bots are great. That's not really my jam, though. So this would get me a 5/5 right now. I think I'm pretty excited about a 5/5 right now. But I always think that drafting the open deck is usually the best way to go. It just so happens it was the Pondrix decks here. You're going to have to sacrifice something to make this trade, right? I'm okay with that. You want a 2-for-1 yourself? I'm A-okay with that. Okay, so that could actually be a problem given the fullness of time. I think it's most likely to be the thing I'm most worried about from them. So I'm going to kill it. We got a while before we can turn into the the aggressive deck, but just having good blocks is a nice start. I'm very glad I took that out. Pop Quiz is going to get me another fractal token, but it might give me something else I can play this turn. Like an island to make it bigger. That's fine by me. Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. Hey, that's how we're winning. 6-7. Not too good there, bud. Real secret tunnel. Wormhole serpent. Yeah, it works. It works. Yes, we're probably going to do that, given a few turns. Ooh. Can you kill me this turn? Looks like maybe they can't. Like, that's lethal, right? Looks like it to me. Alright, let's stream raid, and while that's going, I'm going to grab a soda. So you guys enjoy the boss fight, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. Thank you for your patience. We have Serica with the assists, no, the kills, Adam with the other thing, and stuff for Rebel Rooster and Gweeton Ford. How do you evaluate the lesson mechanic at this point? It is exactly how I expected it would be. The articles I wrote on face-to-face games suggested that you should value the learn cards more than the lessons, and I'm still kind of standing with that. All right. Next Stream Raiders battle, go. I think I was pretty spot on with my evaluation of this set. The only card that's really moved much for me is Rise of Exodus. I thought it was going to be too expensive and you wouldn't play it, and it's not, and you will. Which I should have seen. I can't remember if it was John or Dave that said in chat, "What's up, AF? Good to see you. How are you doing, man?" He said removal either needs to get you a 2-for-1 or be cheap. I think it was John. And that it's a 2-for-1. So you would play it. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, you were super right. Hey, you do what you can. Behold how powerful our biomathematician is. I'm glad to hear it, man. Been thinking about you with the job opportunity and such. Feeling well is good. Secret pop quiz. Secret pop quiz. I think that's the right call, man. And I think it's something you can be proud of. And I really need something big enough to be able to fight that this turn, but I can't. I can bury it in books if we want to not deal with it for a turn. And honestly, that seems kind of good to me. Like, I don't want to deal with that right now. Cabbage. That should give me time to, like, get this going and then do it. I needed a land there if that was the line. Dag nabbit. All right, well, that kind of sucks, but here we are. Okay, so they about some cost reduction mechanics. Mechanics are not just for cars anymore. I felt pretty insistent that I needed to take that out. Do it if they're going to have multiples? Maybe that's the call. Is take out one of the flyers, get the arch down so we can start doing some blocking. We got a Frost Trickster coming up. Should be fine. Like, I feel like we need to stabilize and then we can talk about the rest of it because our stuff will get big eventually. And we've got secret tunnels. through the mountains. I'm kind of hungry. Anybody else kind of hungry? Y'all know the way? All right. I don't want to take a break. Yeah, will you grab me a sandwich? I would appreciate that, Bill. Ooh. Fair enough. It has got to go a while, don't it? That's pretty good right there. They're just gonna casually wreck me. I don't really care for it. Yeah, I don't like that. It seems rough. I was like, I'll play my 2 reach creatures and there's no way they'll get through them. It'll be great. And then they did. Pizza rolls. All right, so I still don't know how we're dealing with the flyers. But there may be some kind of scenario where I can sort of pretend I'm going to race them with my secret tunnel. Well, bring me some of them, McDonald. Or just some McDonald's. I could go for some chicken nuggies right now. What? That's a little scary. I don't feel like I have much option. There's +2, +0 in first strike. There's also like explosive welcome or something, but oh, man. All right, behold the power of biomathematician. Three mana, gain 8 life. It's a lot of life gain for one card. I have not found Enthusiastic Study to be one that I was very happy playing. That's just too much, man. Neat. It's going to happen all over again. So I could learn and exile something, but I don't think I'm beating the second snow day. I don't think I'm beating the first snow day. That game's just over. Unfortunate. I was planning on winning and then I didn't. All right, we can talk about this. It got better. Who's a good cat thing? That was bold. A bold move, Cotton. But they did the thing. I think where we're going, I like the first fractal summoning. How about this? Garfield and Friends. Remember Garfield and Friends? I remember. There we go. Like, I just need something good enough to let me bounce this. No more cartoons on Saturday? What is the world coming to? Five. This feels better than the last game. I suppose it could still get out of hand, but... Secret tunnel! It got us a couple counters. That's really all I can ask for off of it, you know? I wish they'd stop killing my Zemon. I was using that. I expect this gets buried in books, but it's like maybe they would want to do it to the token. I don't think I care about a Frost Trickster right now. The question is, do I want to learn right now? Because maybe I will start caring about a Frost Trickster. I don't think I want to learn right now. I think now they've made me care about the first Frost Trickster. Oh, I forgot about the hall. Fair enough. They get, oh, they just pitched that? That's fine. Yeah, I totally whiffed. Sorry, I'm thinking about lunch. I think it might be time to just make a giant thing and try to close this game out. Because that seems like a pretty easy way to do it. Because we can make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A 7/7, then make both unblockable next turn. And just kill them. That seems pretty good. Okay, fair enough. That seems pretty good too. All right, you got it. If I hit a land, I could cast this anyway and it'd be bigger. I can cast it anyway. No, I couldn't cast it anyway. Okay, fair enough. That's not the 4-mana one. I'm beginning to think I should have cared more about this Frost Trickster. And that I should have a Snickers. Because I feel like I should have won this game and I'm kind of punting it away. That's not good. They might have another berry in books. I'd really like it if they didn't. Okay. That's not looking good for them. Do I want an extra 1 damage now? Or better top decks next turn? I think I'd rather have better top decks. And I can force this through too. Oh, come on! I didn't even get to do the thing! A real letdown. Alright, I say we just win this draft and then we'll get some lunch. Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. Pig gets it. Pig gets it. What about second dinner? I still can't get over how good Discovery is. I'm sitting, like, part of my brain is still thinking about what's going to happen in the next episode. I can understand how some old school Trekkies didn't like it, but to have breakfast, dinner, and supper where I come from. But that has largely disappeared as people have gotten more and more into lunch. I think you should probably take the dragon, nobody. Yeah, maybe it'll get to a point where I won't like it, but so far, it's been real good. No spoilers, though. Y'all do spoilers on the show I'm actively watching, I'm a boot you. How good is Lorehold Excavation? I think it is a premier build around Uncommon. Nearly everyone else on the planet thinks it's unplayable. Take that with what you will. I was talking about Star Trek Discovery. I've quite enjoyed it. Right on time. How was WandaVision? I enjoyed that a lot too. That was really good. I couldn't quite get into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier as much, but I'll finish it eventually. Four mana 7/7 seems alright. It might get buried. It is what it is. Man, I wish I had something big enough to fight that this turn, but I don't. This guy can take care of it. What are they going to do? Pop it and get burying books? I'm okay with that. Secret Reach. Not nearly as exciting as Secret Tunnel. This is the same opponent we played against a couple rounds ago. I recognize the name. Which kind of sucks. Maybe I didn't watch it enough to get that, because that is something I'd be interested in watching more. I may not have just given it long enough to get going. I was getting some vibes of that, and that's what kind of kept me interested. But there was also this one, the last episode I watched was like, hey, here's 8 characters from previous Marvel movies that are incredibly important, and if you don't remember them in detail, you're going to be really confused about what's happening. And that's kind of where I was like, okay. I'd probably enjoy watching it more. No, it can't be the emergent sequence. It has to be the pop quiz. It's like, there's a reason I'm thinking that way. A compelling 2-hour movie. Yeah, such was my concern. But WandaVision was good. Yeah, it is. I don't like playing against the same opponent twice. I really don't care for that. This is awkward because I can't use all of my manas. I really feel like my pathway to victory might be in the air, but like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, this is still the YouTube draft. It wasn't back to back, but it was pairing against the same opponent, and I don't super care for that. Have a good one, Cyril. Oh, yeah. These are literally all of the cards we got blown out by last time. Like, I think I could match up against this tag 20 times and probably win once. Because, like, what do we do here? I don't have any answers for this. Yeah, I think adding that in would be nice. Like, I thought I would have more critiques playing best of one than I do currently. But that's probably my biggest one, is bumping into the same deck, same player is kind of like, ooh, that's not what I wanted. Although, to be fair, when it's a good matchup, I don't mind. But like, as soon as we sat down and I saw the name, I'm like, we're going to get Snow Dayed and it's going to suck. It should. That doesn't mean it does. Got some pretty powerful sneezes today. Pardon me. I think this grabs the elemental summons. We can go Kronk Wrangler into summons or summons and mage duel, depending on how our mana goes.
Join me in a better future.
That's kind of a problem for me.
Focus on the future.
So if I mage duel this and attack it, they do at least have to chump it out of the way, but it doesn't really leave me much of a board state afterwards. Like, I'll have a 2/2, but they could just minus or make a 3/3, and it's kind of nullified. So I feel like I'm going to need to get the aerialist going if I'm going to compete with that. That was not my plan, but it is now my plan. And this seems to be my issue with the Kronk Wrangler.
Consider all possibilities.
Okay, it's going to be that kind of game. Fair. And we've again found a different line. We're just going to play a really big thing. And by really big, I mean a 5/5, but that's pretty big.
Focus on the future.
Our ultimate is kind of game ending, right? Not really. Just demonic tutor for a spell. Alright, so how big a hit can I take to just have her off the board? I can take a pretty big hit if I have to. I don't want to. And yet here we are. Why would you subtract the... Oh, because they have to. Fair enough.
I'll see you after class.
That was just a great way to get me to herpaderp all my mana away. Don't much care for it. Yeah, I'm with the Johnny here.
There's still time for my plans.
We're going to make the block that makes sense. I mean, who can bust up a board stall does seem pretty important. I'm trying to be able to take out this Kazmina this turn. I wonder if they have another big play or exactly what they've got. Okay, they were looking to fight something in a few turns, so that, like, we're at least holding pace with this, but... Interesting. I haven't been that interested in big play. I've been interested in small play.
Focus on the future.
Well, you may get blown out by it less when you're more familiar with it. Refuse to play it or play around it. Fair. Yeah, so it seems okay adjacent so far. This is 3 plus itself, so I have 3 mana left over, and I really can't do anything with it. So how big a hit am I taking? I could block a 1/1 and then take 1. I think I can recover from that. I'm taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a lot. God, I don't think I can go for it. I really don't think I can go for it. I think I need a solid blocker this turn. This sucks. Because I've got to manage this life total as well as her loyalty.
Everything is under control.
Why would they want a 1/1? I guess because, okay. Sure. Well, that makes me doubly glad I didn't take the line I was thinking about. Wormhole Serpent is not any better than this. Leaves me 2 mana, which is not enough to do anything here. I just don't have enough mana is the problem. And that's a concern. I suppose if the board stays about the same, this means I could take her out next turn with the Wormhole Serpent and then potentially play a low drop. Thank you, DTG. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I have found that to be considerably more useful to me.
Consider all possibilities.
For value. This is 4, which means I can't play anything else, which is incredibly awkward. But I am finally ready for this to be dead, and I think I have enough blockers that we can survive it. It would appear that I do not. That was fun. Yes, we can finally draw cards with Simone. So we've got something else to do with the mana, which is nice. Sage. Like the plant that's all over the place in Wyoming.
Still time for my plans.
It's a youngin' word. What'd it mean? Sage? It means sad? Why not just say sad? Okay. That isn't enough. It must be spiced up. The spice must flow. So in trying to answer their Casmina, we eventually just died to a large board. I don't think this really leaves us with any outs, which is unfortunate. I would have liked to have had them, but I need to at least be able to block this, this, and this, and this, and this, and I can't. If I could, what would that look like? I suppose this into a bunch of 2-drops? That's not really going to happen either. Large board is in because of Casmina. Yes, she did make a 1/1. I think we're just super dead. Yeah, sure looks like it. I can't block all that crap. Well, we did actually have some wins. I just can't get them for the YouTube videos. So sorry about that, YouTube. It was kind of unfortunate that we queued into the same player with the same deck twice. But tune into the stream sometime. I can show you how to win there. You can find that at twitch.tv/Semulin. And if you'd like to see how to go 2 and 3, well, good news. You can watch this video all over again and see it. Thanks you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.